We're joined now by the journalist and author Jenny Kleeman and by the former Conservative Special Advisor Anita Boateng. Thanks both for joining us this morning. Dominic Raab, then, he's been in the news quite a lot over the last few weeks, and it's all coming to a head, we think, today, possibly tomorrow. The results of this inquiry will all land on Rishi Sunak's desk, and he will have to make a decision, apparently within hours, as to whether to stand by him, force him to resign, or even sack him. What do you think he's going to do, Jenny?
I think it's going to be a decision that will define him, really, because we know his predecessors, Boris Johnson, didn't sack Priti Patel when she was found to have been a bully. We know that Gavin Williamson lost his job when he was found to have been a bully. So this will be a real acid test for...
I mean, we'll see what the results of the inquiry is
We don't
first.
know, and obviously Dominic Raab denies it, but even if he isn't found to be a bully, is there still going to be a decision for Rishi Sunak to make? Because according to front page of The Guardian, you know, senior MOJ officials, senior members, Ministry of Justice officials, the civil service, that is, under Dominic Raab, are ready to quit if he survives.
Yes, I think it's naughty. I mean, I should say I worked in the Ministry of Justice. I think it's a really important department and officials work very hard. I also work with Dominic Raab in the Ministry of Justice.
What was he like? How did he treat you?
Perfect. He was very, very good, very diligent, very hardworking. I didn't get a sort of suggestion of this. Of course, that doesn't at all mean that this isn't something that needs to be properly looked into, or indeed that there aren't allegations here that that may stand up. So we don't really know at this stage. I think the thing that Rishi Sunak has put a lot of stock in is ensuring he follows due process and following the recommendations of independent advisors and investigations. I think we saw that with Nadeem Zahawi, for instance, and I think it will be very important for him and his integrity, and I think that's something that's not just something he's asserted, but something he sincerely believes will be a driving factor in whatever decision he makes off the back of the report. As Kate just said, we don't actually know what it says.
Your experience is quite important here. You've worked in that environment. Yeah. There are people here who said that he bullied and belittled staff, allegedly. He's driven some to tears, causing some to throw up before meetings. I mean, looking back at your time when you were working in his environment, do you even think that's even a possibility? Do you know of any other cases of people who complained about him? I mean, we've all had bad bosses in our times.
Yeah, I think that's true. Of course we have. But I certainly didn't see any hints of that whatsoever. And this was a while ago. It was back in 2017-18. As I say, he was a courts minister, worked very diligently and well with others from what I saw. But I think it's really important that this is properly given consideration, evidence, all of that is gathered. And the good thing is that we'll be able to see very transparently, I think, what the conclusions of this report will be. But it certainly is a difficult time for the Prime Minister in the sense that Dominic Raab is not only someone who's well regarded by Sunak, he is someone who was, you know, hugely loyal to him through a very difficult period in the campaign against Liz Truss. So I think there are broader ramifications as well if the Prime Minister has to take a difficult decision.
And he, of course, said integrity, professionalism and accountability are my watchwords for cleaning up
but you
this
see,
government.
Those watchwords...
That's Rishi Sunak.
Rishi Sunak's words. Those watchwords are open to interpretation, just like the word bullying is open to interpretation. I mean, as you say, we've all had bad bosses. Some of us have worked with bullies. It is a horrible feeling to wake up in the morning and know that you're going to have to go in, potentially be belittled, be made to feel terrible just for doing your job. And this is going to be damaging no matter what this report says, because either some civil servants who have had a very tough time at work, regardless of whether or not that changes, that breaks any rules, they're going to be considering their position if they go back to work and if he's found not to have been a bully. And just the damage this has done to the government, this has dragged on for a really long time. You've had Dominic Raab on the programme many times, and every single time these questions are put to him. It's getting in the way of him being able to do his job.
For him, you know, I mean, particularly as Justice Secretary, that feels an extra layer, doesn't it, as well? But he probably, especially as he completely denies all the allegation, he probably wants to get it sorted as well, so that he can get on with what he believes is the right thing to do, which is
And
him
we
run
learned
the department.
yesterday that he has paid for his own legal defence
Yeah.
out of his own pocket.
And,
as
and
well.
look, and to Rishi Sunak's credit, we want to see proper due process.
Yeah.
And this has been proper due process. You know, it'll now be. We'll see what we'll all see publicly. We'll see what the results of this inquiry are. Then it will all depend on.
Yeah, but the question is what happens next.
Exactly.
And as we know,
But
with
we'll
Priti
wait and see.
Patel, you know,
Yeah.